All right, so welcome guys to a next installment of the Sunday CBDs, Sunday chart breakdowns. All right, so today, as per usual, I'll be going over my sentiment, chart analysis, chart breakdown for gold, XAU, USD, aka gold. So let's get into it. All right, so beginning from the monthly time frame, the today is the 12th. Right, today is the 12th. So we have quite a few more days, 7 more days to be exact, in which since the last time, no, yeah, 7 more days since the last time we've been live to see what the market does and to see the additions to the monthly time frame. Still going strong for buys. We've had a few retracement in this candle right here, but strong buys based on the monthly. Right. So now let's drop down to, we're still pushing up to the overall level right here. Let me draw this right here. The overall level, which is 5,000. This is the ultimate take profit level, which is 5,000 right here. Um, Change the color to red. All right, so this right here is the ultimate take profit based on everything that we're seeing. You understand? Confirming what Goldman Sachs had already predicted. So past few candles, this one being the third candle, all bullish. So still strong when it comes on to the bullish momentum. So let's get into it. This right here is the weekly time frame. The previous week closed out with a bit of weak rejection from the top side, right? Buyer's rejection. So let's get a bit more into it, but we're seeing structure being maintained nevertheless, right? Maybe we can get a pullback this week, maybe not. Let's just flow with what the markets are giving us, right? Drop down to the daily level. This right here was a strong sell-off starting on Thursday and ending on Friday, right? When we started the bull run, and today finished the overall move back up to the level of resistance, which is the area in which the market is right now on the daily time frame. So let's zoom in a bit. So the market is now at this level of resistance in which it seems to be breaking, right? Not sure yet, depending on how the next few candles form. You understand? Then we can confirm if we're breaking this level or it's just a test. So this is on the daily time frame. And also bear in mind, this is also the highest point in which the market has been. It has never stopped the market from pushing higher because the market can always push higher, always push lower. But just bear in mind, so this is the area and also this is a previous resistance level. So we can expect anything from the market at this point. Dropping down to the 4 hour time frame. Wait, give me a second. Give me a second. So, oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, the market did a big sell off, selling off for, I think it was 1,000 points from the start of the sell off to the end. Well, 1,105 points, pips, basically, from the top point to the level of support right here, in which the market did. right? Now, moving on, this is a strong level of resistance, right? Now, as I said, market can always push through the level, however, but let's see what it does, right? But we're seeing a bit of rejection in which we received on Thursday. The level was formed on Wednesday. We received a bit of rejection on Thursday. Now we're pushing past the zone. So for right now, can't say for sure, being at this level, want to see if maybe we can get a push pass to come. Let me go on the hourly time frame, which is where I mainly base my trades off. On the hourly, we're seeing a whole lot of rejection. And let me see if this can be drawn. Then that, but not sure because we're respecting structure as seen in this point right here, in which the market is doing this, creating higher highs, higher lows. Right? That's what I'm seeing from right here. Not sure how the candle will end up closing. We still have 22 minutes in the candle. So if this acts as another level in which we have buyer's rejection, sell off, maybe come all the way back down here, then this is definitely an area to expect some selling. All right, but for now, it's still looking bullish. What I'm expecting is the same thing, break above this level right here, to come back to retest it, to continue pushing. This may be happen maybe pre-London, right? Just right before London opens, which would be 2 a.m. EST. And this is what I'm expecting basically. But we don't have a solid trade as yet because we are still, wait, give me a second. Yeah, so we don't have a solid trade as yet, being that we're still in the previous trade, which started this previous push, which started on Friday. We're still in this trade right here. So until we get a break past the level right now, then I wouldn't really have much for it. So that's it for tonight. It's just a waiting game to see what the market does. But um let's see basically. And at this time I'm going to hand over to Currency Meech. Let me go ahead. All right. There we go.
Yup. Good night, good night, good night. All right. So, all right. So, this is US 30. This is the asset I trade. We all know this already. So, looking at US 30 right now, we are bullish, right? So, we're seeing higher lows and higher highs being created, right? Higher lows and higher highs. So, we're clearly in an uptrend. Now, for the past couple of weeks, the market has been pushing to the upside. We created a new all-time high at 47,063.56, right? We also created a higher high level of resistance and we started to retrace. Now, what I'm expecting is for the market to now create an area of support, which would be our higher low area support, to then continue the uptrend that we're seeing. So this is the daily time frame. This is a big time frame. So we are not really seeing a lot of details that we can capitalize on, but this is showing us the directional bias basically that we're trying to follow. No 7 joins, okay them. So when it comes on to me identifying my key areas, I like to utilize my institutional levels. That those are the the black lines you see, the black horizontal lines you see here. These are my institutional levels. These are the levels I use to help me understand that okay, whenever the market is respecting these levels or these areas and creating, let's say, resistance or support, they can be strong areas. As you see right here, we're having a lot of momentum, and the week has just started like 3 hours ago, and we're seeing a whole lot of momentum in this bullish candlestick. Let's see how many points this is. So we have already experienced over 500 points, and the move has just started, right? So when I'm looking on the daily time frame, as I said before, I want to identify my key areas. So an area that I might mark off would be here at the 45,000. So I try to plot a zone right here, that area of exhaustion that we can potentially tap in. But seeing that, okay, the market is respecting that 45,500 institutional level, and we also had a tap in the SMEs as well. I'll be aiming to look for buys anywhere from this area, seeing that we're potentially creating that higher low point. No, we haven't created it as yet because the daily candlestick is still active. We have to have a closed or a candlestick that is created here, bearish bullish, to create that higher low area support. So what I can do now is plot myself a fib. So I will plot my fib from the previous swing low that was created, which was right here at 43,533, and I'll plot it to my high point that was created here. Now, these areas here were also higher low points, but when you're looking on the fib, or when you're using the fib, if you understand how the fib works, you will realize that these higher low areas that were created are minor higher lows. They aren't major. So these higher low points didn't create structure. It was just a higher low point that was higher than the previous low point that was created. So these are known as continuations of the initial push. So the push started here, right? At 43,500 basically within that area. The push started there, and we started to push. Now, I consider these as speed bumps. So this is just a little minor speed bump that I'm going to go over while I'm on my journey to create my higher high point, which is at the 47,000 area of resistance, right? So these are known as continuations. As you can see, the market pushed up, pushed up, pushed up. Then we created a new area of resistance up here. So I'm plotting my fib from point A, which would be right here, to point B, which is right here. And let me adjust this fib. Now, when I'm plotting the fib, I plot my fib from bullish wick to bullish wick. So if I'm in an uptrend, I'm plotting the fib from bullish wick to bullish wick. So starting bullish wick, end bullish wick. So there's not a lot of technicals I can plot on the daily time frame right now, because there's a lot of, as I said before, there's not a lot of information I can gather from here. I'm seeing enough, but I'm not seeing enough. I'm seeing what I need to see, but I'm not seeing enough, basically. So let's see, can probably plot another area right here. So that's another daily area that was expected. So I'll drop down to my 4 hour. Now, when I'm on my 4 hour time frame, I normally utilize my 4 hour time frame for structure or my trade setup. So this here was our daily area resistance that was created, right? So this here area started to push. Now the market was creating higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, correct? Now, looking on structure, on 4-hour structure, our last swing low point was created here. The reason why I said the last swing low was created here is because if you're looking on structure, right? Boom, 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 boom. This was just another consolidation. So this was just another speed bump. So this was just higher low. We pushed. We didn't go all the way up to create the higher high. Instead, we pushed, consolidated for a bit, then created that higher high. So this is the area that if it's violated, will transition the market from an uptrend to a downtrend based off the 4-hour time frame. So looking here, sorry, if I should plot myself a random line, you would notice that, okay, this market didn't violate this area of support. It just tested it when we have bearish, bullish. So we have 10 minutes left in this 4-hour candlestick, right? So if this 4-hour candlestick should close the bullish in the next 10 minutes, we'll have a retest of that area of support. Now, understanding that and understanding that, okay, on the daily time frame, I'm seeing that bearish, bullish. Now, what are the possibilities that this market will close out with a bullish candlestick tomorrow? What are the possibilities this is going to close out bullish? We don't know as yet, because as you know, the volume don't really kick in on US 30 until around 7 o'clock or 7:30 pre-NY, right? We'll see a lot of volume start to come in the market. Now, looking on our 1-hour time frame, we are seeing a break of support. So this break of support here is basically a break of structure on the 1-hour time frame. Now, this 1-hour time frame is the time frame that we're using to correlate the data that we're seeing on the daily time frame, right? And on the daily, as we know, the market created higher low, higher high, then started to retrace, right? So that break of support happened here. And if you understand the candlestick analysis, you would see that, okay, this was an engulfing variation. So we had a bullish candlestick, we had a doji, 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 bearish candlestick. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candlesticks combined to create yourself a bearish engulfing variation. Now, when you're seeing a engulfing candlestick, what is that telling you? An engulfing candlestick, whether bearish or bullish, is telling you that, okay, buyers are in control now or sellers are in control. And whenever you're having an engulfing candlestick on a higher time frame, you're normally having breaks of support or breaks of resistance on a lower time frame. So this is our daily time frame. As you can see, we had our engulfing variation, engulfing bearish variation that happened here, along with the break of support on that 1-hour time frame. So that is confirming that, okay, we're having a transition. So the market is creating that resistance area, right? Along with that, we're seeing lower highs being created, right? We can also plot ourselves a counter trend line. So could probably plot a trend line from point A, find yourself a point B, and extend to into the future. So point A was here, point B was here. As you can see, we had taps, taps, and another tap right there. So right now, the market is in a counter trend, but it's a daily reversal, 1-hour counter trend, right? Now, we came down to the 45,500 institutional level. We respected it, and then we had market open 5 o'clock Sunday. We spiked up right? That is telling us that, okay, there's a lot of volume in the market right now. Because as I said before, the market just opened and we're experiencing over 500 points. Normally, US 30 on a regular day, you're getting anywhere from 450 to 600 points on a regular day, right? So to see so much points being presented so early, it's kind of a hint as to the potential of this daily candlestick. So seeing that there's a lot of buyers now in the market is a hint to say that, okay, there's a possibility that this candlestick will close out bullish, but we're not going to know until we know still, you know, but this is just a hint to say, all right, there's a possibility, a strong possibility that this candlestick can close out bullish. Now, for us to take a comfortable trade, we'd like to see certain confluences to say that, okay, the market is ready to go back bullish, right? Because the reason for this sells was because of the tariffs that was announced, the 100% tariffs that was announced by President Trump Friday afternoon, right? So that caused the massive sell that happened. And it also caused a lot of things in the crypto space. So everything was basically red over the weekend. Now, when we're focusing on our buy signals, we would want to see buy type, or we like to see buying confluences. So for me to really take a trade for the buys, I like to see higher lows being created, something like this, or possibly something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, you know. So I would like to see higher lows being created, because if I'm seeing higher lows being created, that is telling me that, okay, the market on the 1 hour time frame is failing to create new lows, which will eventually cause this daily time frame to create this higher low point and also continue to push upwards. Now, the 1 hour is bearish at this time, at this point in time. So we're still seeing lower highs, and lower lows, right? But you have to keep it in the back of your mind. Yes, the 1 hour is bearish. Yes, the 1 hour is selling. But what's the overall trend? What's the overall direction that the market is flowing? The overall direction is bullish, right? And if the overall direction is bullish based off a higher time frame, we have to work with the higher time frame data. It's not because the 1 hour time frame is selling now. Yes, we can look for sell opportunities if they presented, if they are presented to us, but we have to focus on the bigger picture, right? So I'm seeing the 45,000 institutional level, 45,500 institutional level being respected. I'm also seeing a SMA top. And you know, our SMAs, we use our SMAs to identify potential areas of support and resistance. We're also seeing a potential 38.2% Fibonacci, right? Which is our PRZ, and this PRZ area is known as a strong push area. So we are expecting a strong reaction from that area, along with data that we're seeing on the weekly time frame as well. So the week has just started. This last week we had a massive sell, as I said before, and then we pushed down to this area at the 45,500, created the support. Now we're starting to push up. So the week has just started and we're seeing a lot of volume. Also, the monthly candlestick, we're seeing back-to-back bullish months. So remember, the month has just started, right? When I'm looking on candlestick data, just raw candlestick data on the monthly time frame, I'm seeing back-to-back bullish candlesticks, and I'm also seeing a pattern, right? I'm seeing the wicks are getting higher, right? The wicks are getting higher. So this monthly candlestick is now bearish. So that is telling me that there are more sellers than buyers in the month of October, right? But what do we understand from these previous candlesticks? We understand that at one point in time, these candlesticks were bearish because we have wicks. We have wicks to the seller's side, right? So using that, we can identify that, okay, probably this was just a retracement to create that higher low area support to then continue, right? Along with our 4-hour time frame, where we're seeing that this is our previous area support, right? Higher low area support. So if I should draw myself a 4-hour fib, I'll plot it from point A to point B up here. Right? The market created that resistance. Wait, let me see something. You know what? Let me use this here area. Right here. Alright, sorry about that. So point A to point B, right here where we created that resistance. Now, as you can see, the market was consolidating at a 23.6. And what is the 23.6 area known for? Consolidations or continuations. After that, we had the retracement all the way down to 100%. Right? So we had 100% retracement. We didn't break past this area as yet. So I'm expecting the market to have a push at least the 0%. Now, if we push to the 0% and fail to push above it, we will then now probably pull back down, or we would push back down all the way back down to the 100%. Anything is possible right now, but what I'm seeing is a respect of this 100% area, also a respect of this here random line. We also tapped into this area of exhaustion. So there's a lot of confluences around this area to say, okay, we can potentially buy. Now, we're below the 4-hour SMAs. That doesn't mean that, okay, we're going to sell. That does mean that there's a lot more sellers than buyers at this point. But you have to understand that this here drop wasn't normal. This wasn't normal price action. This was caused because of news. As I said before, the Trump tariff situation in China, that is what caused this melt off, this sell. And this was around 100 and, let's see, 120 points basically, right? That's not regular, bro. So seeing that and understanding that that was just based off the incident that took place on Friday, we can't really say, yo, oh, the market are going to continue to sell because we have that. No, bro. We have to pre-structure and we have to understand, say, yo, the trend, our friend. So what you look at all of this now and you say, but the market I break, and break. The market not really break not solid because the market didn't really create structure in the first place on this time frame for it to be broken. So structure has yet to be created, bro. So all of this I would consider just one push. So this is just point A to point B. As I said before, all of this was just continuations of the initial push, which started from 43,500. Right? So I'm expecting the market to create that higher low area support somewhere off here. Give me that bearish bullish confirmation. Then after that bearish bullish confirmation, I look to take potential buy opportunities. Now, I can probably get buys before that, but I have to wait and see how the 1 hour data is being printed to then see, okay, am I going to get that opportunity? Because it can happen within that candlestick. I can probably get a higher low tomorrow. I can take positions off, right? So seeing how the 4-hour closed a while ago, bro, this is really, really good price action for me. I'm not focusing on the sales, right? Because I understand that the market has to sell, bro. It has to, because the market just can't continue push up, 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 up. It has to correct itself. So I'm looking at this as a correction. I'm not going to change my bias because the market just had this big dip. I'm still looking for the buys, right? You see, until the market retraces and breaks this area, I'm still focusing on the buys. No, am I going to get the buys tomorrow? I don't know as yet because I don't have enough data to tell me that, okay, the buys are ready. What I do have though is just the volume. And I'm working with the volume that I'm seeing. That's the only thing I have right now because I don't have any structure on lower time frames. I don't have any lower time frame confluences to say, okay, yes, this is good. Only thing I have is a lower high and a lower low. What I want to see is a transition phase. I want to see a lower high, then a higher low, to then take entries at that higher low point with the hope of it breaking past the previous low point. So all I have right now is a low. But yes, this low point could be the base for that daily time frame higher low point, if you understand. So let me give you a quick example on that, what I'm trying to explain. So let's say this is the daily time frame, right? So we had a one push, we had a one pullback, right? That is the daily time frame. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, we are seeing something like this. Right? This is what we're seeing on the 1 hour time frame. Now, within this area, we want to see something like this happening. Now, this point, which would be our lower low point on the 1 hour time frame, would basically be the exact same area here on the daily. It's just that on the daily time frame, you're not seeing as much data as you're seeing on the 1 hour. So right here at this lower high point is where we want to see the market push past. But at this point in time, we haven't created that lower high yet on the 1 hour time frame. So all of this is just basically me premeditating or hoping for that transition to happen. It might not happen now, it might not happen exactly like this, but once I see that transition phase, or I'm seeing signs of that transition phase, I want to take action. So I would like to see that higher low point. That higher low point would give me an indication that, okay, the market is ready to transition or undergoing that transition phase. I'll take my entries here and I'll target my negative 27 based off the fib. I would plot from basically point A to point B. So all of this is taking place on the 1 hour time frame, but on the daily time frame, I am just seeing a higher low point being created for it to continue pushing. So back on the daily, that is what I'm seeing here right now. I'm seeing a bearish and a potential bullish candlestick that can be created. All I want to see now on the 1 hour time frame is that higher low point to then take my entries to eventually or probably push past that lower high to create or new. As I said, it doesn't have to play out like this, It doesn't have to play out like this, bro. But this is a potential setup that or a good setup that I would be looking for. Remove versions. No, keep them. So yeah, that is it for US 30 for me. And I'll hand it back over to Pips to pay out.
Okay.
Stop here.
Right. So, guys, that's all for today. Right. That ends another installation of the CBD bundle. Right. You can catch us next week, same time, 8:30 EST. Right. And, make some money this week and have a blessed week. That's all.